few issues to say the least. From a pain perspective, I guess I had, like we discussed, sesamoid metatarsal, there's, foot pain, ankle pain. They told me it was always from overuse and from playing on AstroTurf, and I kind of just took that for what it was and kind of just accepted it.
Mm.
So I played 3 months, 4 months, constant pain last season, painkillers, all sorts of anti-inflammatory stuff like that. I'd say about a month and a half into the program, it got better and eventually completely went away. So now whether I'm playing barefoot, AstroTurf, grass, cleats, metal cleats, I have no pain whatsoever. I also felt like I was in a big, I guess I would call it athletic slump. I feel like I wasn't really getting the most out of my body. I felt slow. I felt lethargic. I'd say after about a month, once again, started to get better. And eventually about 2 months in, so by week 8, week 10, I really felt a big difference, especially, in the max speed work that we did. We have different, I guess, performance metrics that we went by. I think they all got better pretty quickly. So that was definitely a big plus. And regarding what I feel, I guess, like you were saying, a lot of people don't understand or believe it. Like, for example, elevated tower curls or the Hyperarch hops. I remember the first session, especially, I think after only a minute or 2 minutes, I had really, really strong cramps on feet, calves, just about everything that I guess you say I'm not really supposed to feel.
Right.
And I think that progressed quite quickly with me. I think about a month in, I started to feel glutes in everything. And then eventually, I'd say by week 6, week 8, week 10, there's a big, big difference to the point where now if I do a tower curl, I'll directly feel the glute, and that's all I'll feel. I'll feel nothing else, basically.
Right.
A bit of abs as well with every exercise. And especially with the rolling as well with the tennis ball. I remember the first couple of weeks, you used to tell me that I shouldn't be feeling that sore and everything. And I guess to myself, I would kind of laugh it off, like, well, it's a tennis ball, right? It's a lot of pressure in a small surface area. How is it not supposed to feel sore? And definitely by week 6, week 8, if before I was reporting like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 in the soreness scale, it had gone down sometimes to 1 or 2 or 3. So definitely recommend it a lot. And I know for me personally, it made a big difference. So thank you, coach.
You're welcome. So in your own words, right? So the fascia tissue, of course, mainstream disregarded doing dissection. And you obviously had mainstream training before you lifted weights, right? You had that the DOMS, what's called delayed onset soreness of the muscles, right? When you did this training,
Definitely.
like how does this compare to that training?
So it's a lot different. I'll start off by giving my own comment on the weights. I feel like personally, I was put into a hypertrophy style program for quite a few years, from when I was 17 years old up until basically now before this. And I always felt like before I started playing professionally and kind of doing these kind of gym programs and everything, I always felt like I was an athletic, fast player. Like I was a bit more athletically gifted than the other people I was playing with. And I felt like at 21, 22 years old, I felt like that had all gone away. I felt a lot more robotic. Felt like I had less mobility, less fluidity in my strides. And like you said, the delayed onset muscle soreness, and I just feel real heavy, real slow. Whereas with this, I feel like when we're doing the exercises, I'll feel them a lot. Like it'll be tough exercises, obviously different than what I'm used to doing. But like the day after, I feel like I would feel better instead of feeling slower. So I'd say by no means is it easy. You have to put the work in regardless.
Not easy.
But I feel like it's definitely not easy. Like by the end of the exercises, whether it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, there's times where I'd be shaking, sweating hard, all of that. But I feel like as it related to performance, I felt a lot more energetic, a lot more fluid, and a lot less sore, I guess, when I was just on the field. So for me personally, a lot better.
Got it.
But they can continue doing what they want to do.
Right. And no, we're in performance, right? So
Yeah.
if other people want
Yeah.
to do that, that's fine. We're totally fine, right? We're not saying anything
We're
about that.
we're we're okay with it as
We're
long as they're
very
happy.
okay.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
long you're doing that, we're okay. There's no no competition here. Let's say if you were to explain this training to a 6-year-old person who doesn't really understand about fascia, like how would you explain to them?
Someone who knows nothing about fascia, I guess I'd say I'm using gym words, I guess we could say. I think it's a lot of proprioceptive training, a lot of kind of isometrics, and I guess what you would think as plyometrics as well. A lot of quick movements, making sure joint angles are correct. I'm not sure a 6-year-old will understand that, by the way, so I might have messed up already. But I'd say the easiest way to describe it for me is just more athletic, kind of trying to mimic what your body is actually going to do in an athletic setting,
Got it.
as opposed to just putting a ton of weight on your back and assuming that by doing that, you're going to have more force production and as a result, be faster, which from my personal experience, I feel like it did the opposite. And so I just say a real athletic form of training, a lot of jumping, just a lot of information as well. I feel like it's a lot to learn, as a lot of people haven't really taught anyone this information as of now. So
Right.
might not be the best explanation. I'm sure you could explain it a lot better than I do, but that's
No?
how I personally understood it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, everyone has their unique perspective. So I want to hear from each person.
Yeah.
I usually ask this to everyone that I work with. And
Yeah, yeah.
everyone gave us a little bit of gems of what their body's going through, how they feel and things. And some people use analogies very well. Very good.
Yeah.